Hello everybody and welcome back to CFO Conversations. Today I have the pleasure of welcoming a new CFO into the room, Julia Van Gra.
Hi Paula.
Would you give the audience a quick 30 seconds of who you are?
Thanks. I'm a co-founder of Speak, and we provide leadership support to leaders who want to make a difference in their organisation. So sometimes that's hands-on leadership support, and other times we take interim leadership roles like interim CFO or CEO roles.
Nice, thank you. And today our conversation is all about the CFO leading the charge, and something that I'm very passionate about, and good to see that evidence and research is now backing up the fact that perhaps the CFO is leading the whole of business. That might not sound appealing to any CEOs watching, but something that I've been very cognizant of in the last 5 years in my roles is that really I think the CFO is the truth sayer, knows the business and is leading effectively the organisation. What are you seeing?
Yeah, there's certainly, there's different types of CFOs that we see in businesses. Certainly in circumstances where there's increased, stakeholder pressure or financial pressure, you might see the CFO having a more elevated role within the organisation. But I mean, there's really an opportunity in Australia, I think, for more CFOs to have a bigger impact on the business and have a seat at the table. Yeah. I mean, in other jurisdictions, it's quite common, for instance, for the CFO to be on the board, whereas in Australia, it's quite common to see a CFO, even of a listed company, not on the board. So it really it leads you to think, well, how is that CFO being heard and having a seat at the table, and what do they need to do?
And I certainly resonate with that comment, because when I first came over, actually, we did have a role at the board. We did have a seat at the board, but I've been in CFO roles where the CEO said, "Oh, well, there's no board capacity and presentation." I was like, "Well, that's ridiculous. How am I going to speak the truth to people that may need to hear that? Because it's not necessarily going to come via the CEO." I mean, that might sound counterintuitive, but I've certainly been in boardrooms where the picture isn't being painted honestly with the CEO.
And I think it depends on the situation, because every situation is obviously different. But there is a real opportunity for CFOs to take a much more leading role in an organisation, and I think that's partly where if we think about the current economic cycle, and there's a strong financial headwinds that are going to put financial pressure on a lot of businesses. So there is an opportunity for CFOs to be stepping up and taking more of a leading role in terms of the impact that they have on the leadership team, how they're actually bringing the leadership team together. And I say that as the impact of them as a leader, not as a manager, because I think what we've seen is a lot of CFOs sticking to the management role and focusing on how do I manage the team to get more out of the team, and how do I improve the finance function effectiveness. I think there's a real opportunity for more CFOs to step up into that leadership role.
Yeah, which is great. So for the audience, we'll have two typically types of people. We'll have the CFOs that get this and are doing it. How do we help those CFOs that are watching, those finance leaders that are watching, that aren't thinking like this? How do they take that brave step up to be that proactive CFO?
Well, I think the first is self-awareness. So having an understanding about where you see yourself in the leadership team. Also having a conversation with the CEO. I mean, being the CEO is a lonely role sometimes as well. And so, from a CEO's perspective, having a CFO who is really engaged in wanting to take a leadership role within the business and driving the business forward as well, and not just sticking to the finance function.
Well, that's very supportive for the CEO.
Correct. And look, there's a big opportunity for CFOs to be more embedding themselves with the rest of the business. I mean, just simple things like, preparing cash flow forecasts, for instance. That should not be seen as the domain just of the CFO, but it really needs to be embedded within the business. So there's lots of things that CFOs can do. In my certain circumstances, I've taken a coach from time to time as well, because that's really helped me get some big step changes forward.
Yeah, and I think and there's one of the reasons why I've started this conversation, because I want CFOs and aspiring CFOs to listen to the challenges that we have in this position, because again, it is a position potentially of isolation. And so where do you go to get this kind of tips and tricks? So watch out for more CFO conversations. Thanks, Julia, that's good.